Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to English SpeakCast, your favorite place to learn English in a fun, natural way. If this is your first time listening, I'm really happy you're here. And if you're a regular listener, thank you so much for joining me again today. You guys are the reason I sit down, grab my microphone, and create these long podcasts so that your English gets stronger, easier, and more natural every single day. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to say something in English, but the right word just didn't come to your mind? Maybe you were talking to a friend, or maybe you were traveling, or even in a meeting at work, and suddenly you froze. The word was hiding somewhere in your brain, but it just refused to show up. Frustrating, right? Well, that's exactly why vocabulary is so important. Vocabulary is like your toolbox. Imagine trying to fix something with only one tool. Very difficult, right? But if you have a whole toolbox, you can do so much more. In the same way, the more English words you know, and the more comfortable you are using them, the more confident you'll feel when speaking. So, today, in this long podcast, I want to take you on a journey, a storytelling journey, through different parts of life. We'll talk about daily life, travel, business, emotions, and even advanced idioms. And here's the fun part. I won't just list words for you. I'll actually tell little stories, share examples, and guide you step by step. That way, the words will stay in your memory much longer. All right, enough talk. Grab a cup of coffee, or maybe tea if you prefer. If you're walking or commuting, just relax and enjoy. Let's dive into our English Vocabulary Booster podcast. Let's start simple. Imagine this. It's a Saturday morning. You wake up slowly, stretch your arms, and walk to the kitchen. The first thing you notice is the smell of fresh coffee. Now, in your kitchen, you probably have a few appliances. Do you know this word? Appliances are the machines in your home. For example, fridge, microwave, oven, washing machine. Here's a story. One of my students once told me, "Teacher, yesterday my fridge stopped working, so I had to eat ice cream for breakfast." See, vocabulary can be delicious too. Now, let's say you want to cook breakfast. You take out some utensils, a fork, a spoon, maybe a frying pan. Utensils are all those little tools we use for cooking or eating. And after breakfast, yes, the part nobody enjoys, chores. This word means small jobs at home, like washing dishes, sweeping the floor, or making the bed. Personally, my least favorite chore is ironing clothes. It feels endless. What about you? Think about it. Which chore do you dislike the most? Now let's move forward. After breakfast, maybe you need to go to work or school. You leave home and here comes the word, commute. This is the daily journey from home to work or school. Some people commute by car, some by bus, some even by bicycle. I used to have a student in Dhaka who said, "My commute feels like an adventure movie every day because the traffic is crazy." But wait, life isn't just work and chores, right? We also need leisure. Leisure means free time. Imagine finishing all your work and now you can relax, read a book, watch a movie, or maybe just take a nap. That's leisure. Can you say one sentence about your leisure activities? For example, in my leisure time, I love listening to English SpeakCast. See, you just practiced. Now, before we move to the next part, let's touch on food vocabulary. Imagine going to a nice restaurant, You sit down, and the waiter brings you an appetizer, a small dish before the main meal. Then comes the main course, the biggest dish, and finally, dessert. Sweet heaven! My personal favorite? Chocolate cake. What's yours? Now, let's go on a trip together. Imagine you and I are traveling to Paris. Excited? Okay, let's go. We arrive at the airport. The first thing we need is our boarding pass. This little paper, or digital ticket, is your key to getting on the plane. Without it, no entry. Next, we go through customs. Customs officers check your luggage to make sure you're not carrying anything illegal. Sometimes they ask questions, sometimes they just smile and wave you through. But oh no, our flight isn't direct. We have a layover in Dubai. A layover means a short stop between two flights. Some people hate it, but personally, I love layovers because it feels like a bonus trip. You get to see a new airport, maybe even a new city. Finally, we land in Paris. Bonjour! We take a taxi to the hotel. At the front desk, we meet the receptionist. Reception is the area where you check in, ask questions, or get help. And we also ask about the amenities. This word means extra services, like swimming pool, gym, or free breakfast. And let's be honest, free breakfast is always the best amenity. The next day, we go exploring. Paris is full of landmarks, famous places like the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre Museum, and Notre Dame. And of course, we buy a few souvenirs, small gifts to remember the trip. At one point, we take a bus through the countryside. The view is so scenic. Scenic means beautiful to look at, like mountains, rivers, or old villages. I remember sitting there, looking out the window, thinking, this is why I love traveling. Okay, quick practice. Imagine you're in your dream country. Can you say 3 sentences using boarding pass, landmark, and souvenir? All right, vacation is over. Let's go back to work. Imagine walking into an office. Everyone is busy, typing, answering phones. Your boss calls a meeting. On the table, there is an agenda. An agenda is a list of things to discuss. And of course, every project has a deadline. Oh, those scary deadlines, they always come too fast, don't they? At work, you also have colleagues, people you work with. Sometimes they're friendly. Sometimes, well, let's just say, some colleagues can be challenging. Now, let's say you're working on a new project. You write a proposal, a plan or suggestion. Then you share it with your manager, and guess what? They give you feedback, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but always useful. If the project involves money or contracts, you might need to negotiate. That means discuss terms until everyone agrees. Negotiation is an art. I once had a student who told me, "Teacher, I don't like negotiating. I always say yes too fast." But business isn't just about projects. It's also about your career. Maybe you hope for a promotion, moving to a higher job position, or maybe you're doing an internship to gain experience. And don't forget networking, meeting people, building connections. Many jobs come from networking, not just job ads. Now let's level up with some advanced words. Imagine you're writing about emotions. You don't want to just say happy or sad, right? So here are some stronger words. Ecstatic, extremely happy. She was ecstatic when she got the job. Frustrated, upset because something is difficult. He felt frustrated with the slow internet. Overwhelmed, too much pressure. I was overwhelmed with work last week. Then we have idioms, little phrases that make English fun. Break the ice, start a conversation, hit the sack, go to sleep, once in a blue moon, something rare. And of course, phrasal verbs. These are super important. Carry on, continue, figure out, understand, look forward to, feel excited about something. Quick practice. Can you say one sentence with look forward to? Maybe, I look forward to listening to English SpeakCast every week. Haha, see what I did there?
Let's tie it all together with the story. Last summer, I traveled to Italy. My flight had a short layover in Istanbul. At the hotel, I asked the reception about amenities, and they told me there was a rooftop pool with a scenic view of the city. During my leisure time, I explored landmarks like the Colosseum and bought souvenirs for my family. One evening, I had dinner with other travelers. The appetizer was bruschetta, the main course was pasta, and dessert was tiramisu. I was ecstatic. On my last day, I felt overwhelmed because my suitcase was too full, but I managed to carry on. That trip was truly once in a blue moon. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of today's long, cozy episode of the English Vocabulary Booster podcast. Today, we traveled through different worlds, our homes, the airport, the office, and even deep into emotions. We learned words like appliance, chores, commute, boarding pass, souvenir, agenda, promotion, ecstatic, and so many more. But here's the thing. Learning vocabulary isn't about memorizing long lists. It's about living with the words, using them in your daily life, making them part of your story. So here's your homework. Write down 10 new words from today's episode. Make your own short story using them. Share it in the comments below. I'd love to read what you create. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to English SpeakCast. Give this video a like and share it with a friend who's learning English. And remember, every word you learn is a step forward. Keep going, keep practicing, and keep speaking. This is your English trainer from English SpeakCast, signing off. See you in the next episode. Take care and happy learning.